The reason why I chose to draw today is because I haven't done it in a while, and when I do it, I actually find a lot of joy in it. And drawing in a realistic style is what I enjoy, and fictional stuff can also be realistic, I think. I like to do both. Sometimes I just sit there and draw anything really, just whatever pops up in my mind, and that often ends up being like something having to do with nature, like trees or parts of trees, or or small, I guess, fractions of buildings, and just ancient-looking stones and uh, creations, a lot of brick walls and that stuff. So I initially wanted to draw the house next to that building I'm drawing now, but there was some sort of celebration thing, so I had to seek an alternative, and that ended up being that thing I'm drawing now, which is like a stone structure with like old what's it called? Pillars. It looks like a Greek building almost. And when I draw buildings, I prefer to draw like these old looking buildings. Fucking mosquito. Oh, there's a squirrel. Okay. 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 See, that's what you get for interrupting me when drawing. Drawing was something I picked up as a kid. I've I've almost always done it to some extent, but recently, or when I say recently, I mean over the past 5 years, I haven't done it as much as I think I would have liked to. Sometimes I lose patience with the drawings and they end up with unfinished stuff. And the word finished is also like a weird one in when drawing, because there's really no point when a piece is actually finished. You could argue that one is never finished, which I think is true. There's this tree next to the building I'm drawing, and it's been fucking annihilated by some sort of woodpecker because there's hole all over the place. Yeah, there's people watching. What can you do, eh? I did like a foundation program in design a few years ago, and there you used to learn to like draw and measure quite accurately, and like holding out your arm and measuring, and to go doing like the, so if you measure one side, you do like, what's it called? You measure the sides of like lengths of a building and like compare the two, and then transfer it into like a smaller size so you can put it on your surface, on your canvas. And can't be asked to do that right now because I think it's almost nicer if you learn to practice by only looking and see what you can get onto paper by only looking and without using like assistance, and therefore almost using only memory, or only relying on memory to transfer what you see onto paper. And it's also not easy because you have to almost remember what it looks like and then transfer it, because you can't really draw with looking at the object constantly. For example, now I'm drawing like small details in the which they have hammered into stone, I would say, or chiseled into stone, I would say, and it's like a bunch of repetitive details along the side of the roof of the structure. And for these little repetitive details, I won't count them exactly because I can't be asked, which takes away from the accuracy of the drawing. But I think I'm gonna sacrifice some accuracy for convenience. I didn't expect to draw human figures because there's a statue standing beneath the structure, and I didn't sign up for this. Drawing humans is one of the hardest things for me when it comes to sketching, especially if you want to make it accurately enough to actually be able to recognize the person. And I find that one of the hardest parts about drawing anatomy or just humans. But luckily, that guy over there is basically a silhouette. That statue does not look like a healthy human, but can fix it maybe. I think there will always be a distinction to make between human art and artificial intelligence created art. Of course, you won't be able to tell the difference, but I think also with the example of music, let's say, for example, you go watch a concert, and I might be wrong, but I think it makes a difference if you listen to holograms, which sounds nice and looks nice, and it can be a sick experience, I imagine, to see that on stage. But to see a human creation, whether it's music, art, illustration, anything, I think there will always be that human touch, even if robots advance to the level of being so much alike to biological humans. I think listening or watching and talking to real humans and real human creation will always be better and more authentic for humans. I don't know if you can replace art. That will be boring, I think. Which is not an excuse to the fact that I believe that a bunch of professions will vanish because they're not needed anymore. But it'd be sad to see human artists go. I'm fucking disliking the mosquito situation here.